So let's look at the mathematical question we have, which says the following data we obtain for the reaction. So this is the reaction I plus OCI minus, which these are the reactants. So the product side we have IO minus plus CL minus. Okay, so we are given the data. I've been provided with the data for three experiments, that is experiment 1, 2, and 3. So we have the values for I, for that is we have the values in mole per dm cube for the first reactant, which is I, and for the other reactant, which is OCI minus. So we have them in mole per dm cube for the three experiments conducted. And also we have the initial rate, which is given in mole per dm squared per second. That is we are given the values also for the three experiments. So what the question is just asking us basically is for us to find the order of the operation with respect to the reactant, which is I minus and OCI minus. So now let's begin solving this. For us to begin, we have the rate, which is equal to K multiplied by the reactant, which is I minus raised to the power of X, then the other reactant, which is OCI minus raised to the power of Y. So with this relation, this relation now will help us to get the three required equations. So let's begin with experiment 1. Okay, so for experiment 1, the rate we have for experiment 1, 5.4 times 10 to the power of minus 5 equals to the concentration for I minus, which is given as 1.8 times 10 to the power of minus 3 or raised to the power of x multiplied by the concentration of the other reactant, which is OCI minus, which is given as 2.1 times 10 to the power of minus 3 or raised to the power of y. So this is what we call this our equation 1. So now moving on to experiment 2. Okay, so the rate for experiment 2 is 10.8 times 10 to the power of minus 5 equal to, remember we are still using the same relation, okay? Then the concentration for I in experiment 2 is given as 3.6 times 10 to the power of minus 3 or raised to the power of x multiplied by the other reactant OCI minus, which is 2.1 times 10 to the power of minus 3 all raised to the power of y. Okay, so now let's move on to the next experiment, which is the last one, experiment 3. Before that, remember this is going to be our equation 2. So for experiment 3, the rate for experiment 3 is 4.9 times 10 to the power of minus 4 equal to the reaction for concentration for I, which is 1.8 times 10 to the power of minus 3 raised to the power of x multiplied by the other reactor, which is 6.3 times 10 to the power of minus 2 raised to the power of y. So this is our equation 3. So from here now we can see that we have our three equations. So now we can solve and get our answers. So now, taking equation 1 and 2 into consideration. So so what we need to do now, looking at equation 1 and 2, all we need to do is to divide equation 2 by 1. So you divide equation 2 by 1, okay? So our equation 2 is 10.8 times 10 to the power of minus 5, that is for the rate side, then divided by 5.4 times 10 to the power of minus 5 equal to, that we have the right hand side here, which is 3.6 times 10 to the power of minus 3 raised to the power of x multiplied by 2.1 times 10 to the power of minus 3 raised to the power of y divided by, then this other side here, which is 1.8 times 10 to the power of minus 3 raised to the power of x multiplied by 2.1 times 10 to the power of minus 3 raised to the power y. From here, all we need to do is to use our calculator to punch and get our and simplify the expression we have on the board. So we have 10.8 times 10 to the power of minus 5 divided by 5.4 times 10 raised to the power of minus 5. So this gives us here, we have a value of 2. So here equal to, as you can see, here at the numerator and denominator, they are the same. So this cancels out and we are left with 3.6 times 10 to the power of minus 3 divided by 1.8 times 10 to the power of minus 3. So please, we have to be careful when using our calculator so we punch correctly. So here we have a value of 2 raised to the power of x. And we know from indices, this is the same as saying 2 raised to the power 1 is equal to 2 raised to the power x. So the bases are equal, so this is the same thing as saying x is equal to 1. So what this means is, looking from the question, this means that the order of the reaction with respect to I minus. So this is how we write the answer. The order of the reaction with respect to I minus is 1. So the order of the reaction with respect to I minus is 1. Okay, so we've answered the first question here. So we have to look for the other one here, right? So for us to continue solving, to get the other answer, which is for the value of y, what we need to do is to take equation 1 and 3 now into consideration. So now what we need to do is to divide equation 3 by 1. Okay, so dividing equation 3 by 1 will give us the value of y, and this is our equation 3, which is 4.9 times 10 to the power of minus 4 divided by 5.4 times 10 to the power of minus 5 equal to, right hand side here, 1.8 times 10 to the power of minus 3 raised to the power of x, and 6.3 multiplied by 6.3 times 10 to the power of minus 2 raised to the power of y, all divided by what we have here in equation 1, which is 1.8 times 10 to the power of minus 3 raised to the power of x, and 2.1 times 10 to the power of minus 3 raised to the power of y. Dividing this gives us a value of 9 is equal to, so this cancels out. So here we have 3 raised to the power of y. And we know from our laws of indices, this 9 is the same thing as saying 3 raised to the power of 2 equals to, so here 3 raised to the power y. So now the bases are equal. At the end of the day, what we have is y is equals to 2. So what this means is that, so what we have here, what this means is that the order of the reaction, so now we say the order of reaction of OCI minus is 2. Okay, so now we've answered the two questions. The order of the reaction for the first time reactant, we got it to be 1 when we solved, and we got our x to be equals to 1 and y is equals to 2, which is the order of reaction with respect to the other reactant, which is OCI minus. So viewers, this is all we have today on that rate of reaction. If you have any question under the same topic, kindly drop your questions and we will take it up from there, okay? Video is sponsored by Crush Connect. I remain your pro guide, Aisha Vande. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your continuous support. And bye for now.